Hey everybody, this is that German guy Josh Runquist, and I'm here with Blake from Vektor, who's premiering here for the first time in Minnesota, opening for Voivod at the Amsterdam Bar and Hall in St. Paul, Minnesota. How's it going?
Very, very good. How are you?
I'm doing great. Just like we were talking about a few minutes ago, I am so thankful to finally be able to see you guys after being a fan for such a long time. And just the fact that you guys are being able to get on a tour such as this is just amazing to be able to see.
Yeah, thank you, first of all. But
Yeah.
we're incredibly excited to finally play Minnesota. We almost had the chance a few years ago. We were part of that Napalm Death Municipal Waste Exhume tour, and we were all the way up to the St. Paul show, and that one show was just like, no Vektor. And we were like, okay. So we were booked and then not booked, I don't know, but finally, luckily, we've been able to make it here. And yeah, this tour, needless to say, is a bit of a dream tour for us. I mean, we get asked about Voivod, I think, in every interview we've ever done, so to be on the road with one of our favorite bands is kind of mind-blowing night to night.
Absolutely, and it's a dream bill for someone like me, being able to see like two different sides of the prog world being able to form together and make for some great progressive metal.
We've been loving watching them every night, just side stage, just kind of worshiping at the altar. It's really, really awesome. It's been
Absolutely.
great.
So, how's the crowd reaction been for this tour so far?
Very good. There's been a few duds here and there always are, but the ones that are good are really, really good. Like even last night in Cudahy, like near Milwaukee, it was just fantastic, packed to the walls, and people were really, really stoked. It's still surprising how many people are giving me the like, I hadn't heard of you guys before, and now I'm boop-a-doo, because I'm always surprised to hear that, so it's cool. But that's what we're going for. So
Absolutely. And I'm happy to see, even though if you look up your set, it's only 6 songs, you guys are playing a very long set for an opening band, which is cool to see.
We were thankful they gave us enough space they know that we have long songs, and if we go a little over or whatever, they're very, very accommodating for us, which is rare and awesome. So it varies night to night, kind of depending on whether or not there's local bands or what the setup is, but we mix it up. There's some nights we can play 40 to 45 minutes, or almost up to an hour. A few nights ago, the guitarist from Eight Bells, Melinda, actually broke her leg at the Atlanta show, and as terrible as that is, the next 2 shows we were able to actually play a full hour. So, not that I'm going to say it's a benefit, but it was a nice bonus, I guess.
But it's glad to see them back on the bill too, because I was wondering if they were even going to make this show tonight after reading all their updates and everything.
Yeah, they stayed in Atlanta for an extra 2 days and just sort of got everything squared away, and then after that, figured out that they didn't need surgery immediately or anything, and were able to book it back to Chicago and meet back up with us. Their drummer, Ray, who's actually the drummer in another band called Immortal Bird, awesome drummer.
Oh, yes.
She's living in Chicago, so they were able to just kind of station there and figure it out. Off we go. She's been playing in crutches, like sitting on a chair. She's killing it. It's amazing.
Going Dave Grohl style, I like that.
Yeah, she's a champ. I don't know if I could. Yeah, she's killing it, and at her age, it's awesome.
Oh, absolutely. So I also see that you guys have been playing a couple new songs off the brand new album, which I haven't been able to check out anything off the new album yet. I've been waiting for the album to come out, or tonight, to be able to see that in the same way, because I love that album experience of being able to check out one of my favorite bands and hear it from top to bottom, rather than hear a single and then wait a few months and then have it come out.
And this was always the debate from the Mike Portnoy stuff, was that they would always put out the one Dream Theater song before the album, and I'm like, I don't know if I should just ignore it and wait for the whole album, because I'm the same way as you, but we do have 2 new songs in the set. Ultimate Artificer is the one that already was released online, and I think if you pre-order iTunes now, you'll get that one instantly anyways.
Oh, nice.
We're also playing the song called Psychotropia. We had another one in the set in Europe back in November called the Cygnus Terminal. We've been playing a few of them. We played Teropticon like 2 years ago. We just kind of threw it out there randomly, but the new song's been going over really well, actually. Psychotropia is a great live track for us, because it's pretty rockin' and it's easy to digest. Like, there's some on the album that we knew we shouldn't just come out of the gates live until people know them. It's going to be kind of way too confusing, so
absolutely.
Trying to find the balance, but Psychotropia seems to be a good one for them.
Considering I haven't heard those songs yet, not until tonight when I got to experience them in the live experience, which is going to be great. How would you compare this compared to the last couple albums?
It's definitely a bit of a different thing, just because it's got the concept album element going on, but it's, if you're into the first 2 albums, it's not going to be anything like, oh, what did they do? They're gone. We tried to sort of just take all of our elements, the rockin' stuff, the thrashy stuff, the shreddy stuff, the conceptual side, and just ramp each one as far as we could. In terms of writing process, the only major difference here was demoing. We had never gotten to really properly demo. We use like tabs, and then we'll write out MIDI drums and then just replace everything afterwards. But this time we actually demoed all the real guitars to fake drums, and then I recorded the real drums underneath that, and then swapped them out and made sure all the tempos lined up. That was new for us, but it gave us a lot more time to fine tune in the past we've been limited by like, oh, we have 2 days in the studio to figure out all your guitar stuff, which was still the case for the drums, but luckily the guitarists took like months and got to tweak everything themselves, and then they were reamped after the fact.
Ah, sure.
That was new for us, but in terms of music, if you like the old stuff, it's basically that, just kind of taken to a whole different extreme. But we're very, very proud of it. We're so happy to finally get it out there. So.
Oh, me too. And the great thing with that as well is with the new album, it's opening so many new doors with this Voivod tour, which I'm sure is going to be opening up a lot more doors for touring as well.
Yeah. We're looking to tour pretty strong off this new album. We've already got some stuff planned for Europe in the fall. We'll be a little quiet in the summer because our guitarist Eric's having a baby, so he needs to have some baby time. Yeah. It's worse reasons to cancel tours, but so yeah, not too busy over the summer, but we'll be doing at least one Europe thing and hopefully some more US stuff in the fall. We're trying to feel that out right now and figure it out.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, we've been getting some great opportunities. We have some of the festivals we're doing in August are mind-blowing. We're playing with Slayer in the Netherlands at Into the Grave, Motoculture Festival, Brutal Assault, so we're really looking forward to it.
Yeah, you guys are hitting like some of the best European festivals.
We're stoked, yeah. We've never played, we've played like 3 or 4 Euro festivals ever, so these are just awesome. And there's probably going to be like 6 or 7 fests with some club shows just sort of in between filling the gaps. Beyond that, I'm not sure what.
So very cool, and I'm so happy for you guys to finally be able to do that as well.
Appreciate it.
So getting back into the new album, when it comes to the drums, how much has it changed the drumming wise from the last couple albums with what you're doing now? I mean, is it do you have a better understanding of what you're doing with the band, or is like everything still new to you? Or
that actually has changed quite a bit, the drumming. I'm trying to remember when. I think I recorded the drum tracks to our last album, Outer Isolation, in March of 2011, which at this point is like almost 5 years ago.
I know, it's crazy.
Since that time, I mean, you can see just the pictures of my kit from that session and this session. It's an obvious drastic difference, but I wasn't doing any of the open-handed stuff back then or heavy stick hitting all that hard, so my style has changed quite a bit. But in terms of writing, it's still, I'm still fitting in that same kind of space. We still all sort of know the Vektor idea. We have a good understanding of what we want to do, but I'm writing a bit differently with, more intricately sticked tom things and all that, just because I have that rat tom on the left type setup. So the open-handed thing did make a big difference, but I don't know if you'll be able to hear that as much. It's more of a physical thing for me. I just play everything better than I did before.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it always comes down. I mean, it's always cool to look at the drum set the drummer's playing live or in the studio, but the setup is 100% supposed to be for what's going to be most comfortable for the drummer to be able to play.
Right. And that kit also opens me up to like, I never want to just go for the basic, the basic down the toms fill, because it's not even, it's possible, but it's annoying. It's like not the fill that should obviously come with that configuration. So it lets me open up and just try to come up with some more interesting things and mix up the beats in different ways. It's been good.
So has that been a challenge for you at first, or is it becoming comfortable?
It was, yeah. I made that switch in like the very end of 2011, early 2012 was when I swapped all that around. There was one tour where I was just like, no crossing over on hats this tour. I just decided that, and that was a bit sink or swim, but I worked it out. Since then, in the last couple of years, getting more comfortable doing plenty of tours on it and stuff, I'm quite comfortable with that setup now, as weird as it is. And sound guys seem to love it because there's there's nothing in front of the snare drums there. It's like, great. So that's nice, but yeah, I'm much more comfortable with it now, but it was a definite switch. I had to relearn a lot of the old stuff because now it's just like, that's not possible anymore. So after I re-sticked everything, it was cool, but it took a while. It was an adjustment period.
Oh, yes. So with that said, was there any songs that you're not able to do yet in the old configuration, or do you have it down now?
No, I think we've played everything. And even if there was, like, if I really had to get stuck in a corner and like redo a fill that's just not possible at all, when it's rare that happens, I could change like one little stick or add like a thing and it'd be close enough type of situation. So I don't play like to the T what's on the first 2 albums either. Like we've kind of evolved a little bit more. There's stuff that's developed over the live shows through the years, like just adding new fills, and so it's not even exactly the same, but I'll just usually play it however I need to play it.
And I think that's really important as a drummer too, because you can either do that Neil Peart style where it's like you play everything note for note, or you kind of do that Mike Portnoy style where you leave things open to interpretation, where you do different fills, you change things up just a little bit and make show a little more exciting that way.
I'm trying to find that balance. That's been sort of the thing for me, is that I write all the parts. This new album is written, the drums are written out note for note. I have like sheet music for the drums.
Oh wow.
But like down to the ghost notes. But even now I don't play them exactly the way I recorded them. I learned them that way and I recorded them that way. maybe 90% that way with a couple little, toss-outs, but yeah, I still live, I'm always looking for that line of like, I know that's what's on the album, but here's something cool we do, or trying to improvise some fills, and it's a balance, but I don't want people to get lost with like, what's he even doing, that's not the song anymore, so I still try to stay mostly true.
Oh yeah, I pretty much do the same thing in my playing too. It's like the main thing I usually change is the fills.
Yeah,
otherwise,
sure.
like the basic beats, I always try to keep them to the same.
A lot of the beats are written to lock into the riff in a really specific way to accent the parts, so I can't go like switching up an offbeat or something usually, but fills, yeah, I can, and the band doesn't really care what I'm doing in terms of fills. Like I'm pretty up to my own devices in that way, so which is nice. I have the freedom to do whatever I like, and they're usually cool with it. Usually.
Oh yeah.
Usually.
From a mechanic standpoint, would you have been able to do like a standard drum set on the new album, or do you think it's something that where you needed the setup that you have now to be able to pull it off?
I suppose I could have done it. It only gets easier moving that up there. It's a little weird because I'm not used to it anymore, but I could play what I'm playing, just moving that rack tom up and switching things over. It wouldn't be too bad. I have actually done that a couple times on the. I did a fill-in tour with Warbringer beginning in 2014. We toured Europe, opening up for Ice Earth, and there was one night where I couldn't set it up or something was wrong, and I had to just put it up normal way, and it was fine. I mean, I can still do it if I have to. I just don't like it. I'm so used to the weird thing now that I'm like comfortable.
But it's cool to be able to see that you can do it from either setup as well,
sure,
too,
yeah.
because it's like you have the songs memorized that well that it doesn't matter. That's cool.
You get to a point where it doesn't make that big of a difference. But the thing for me, the upcoming challenge that I'm dreading is at some point I am gonna take the step and move my ride to the left and swap my China back over to the right, but that's a bit more of a thing, because that's like, I just wrote all these parts thinking the ride was on the right next to the floor tom, and I do not want to have to restick all that stuff and rewrite it with my left hand, and also it's way harder, but one of these days I'll do it. I can't commit to it yet. Maybe with this free time we have this summer, maybe I'll tool around with that and get it going.
Yeah, it's perfect timing for it.
All right, yeah.
So with that said, being able to become more ergonomic, being able to have left and right both be dominant, was that much of a change? Like being able to like blast and thrash and all that stuff. Being able to get the same power out of it.
Yeah, it's more of a consistency thing where like I know whether I'm snaring with left or right. I can make it all sound much more even than I could in the past. But yeah, it's good that even if I'm just doing a double bass roll, my left foot is more solid and more in time than it would have been, say, 2 or 3 years ago. But I'm not necessarily leading with the left foot. It's just like everything is a little more consistent. So yeah, my rolls improved a lot, luckily, with that. Improving your weekend or your weak foot can only help. It's always nothing but a benefit.
Yeah, it's always a challenge, but it's always worth it when it's able to be pulled off.
Yeah. Even for simple stuff, I just feel so much more solid than I did before.
Absolutely.
I'm like, I've got so much better. It's nice to notice improvement, though.
Oh, absolutely, of course. So getting back into the new album, was there anything that was written during the time of the new album that didn't make it onto the album that might make it in the future?
No, we didn't have like extra songs. There's certainly piles of riffs sitting around that got cut or changed or just thrown out altogether, but nah, we don't tend to write with a lot of extra stuff. This album's like 73 minutes, and I don't think we really chopped anything out. We had a few versions of the second half of the last song kind of in the running that we sort of traded back with, but we finally settled on one that we're quite happy with. But we don't have a lot of extra stuff usually.
Ah, cool.
I'd like to. I wish we could go and like have a random song we could throw on as a bonus track, because we always get asked for Japanese releases. Like, they want a bonus and a cover and a live track, and we're like, we don't have any of that stuff. We don't really record covers. I mean, we could, I guess, but we just never have. We'll see.
Would you think there would be anything that would fit in the Vektor style to be able to cover?
We started learning a cover of Scavenger of Human Sorrow, speaking of death, before we started.
That would be so sweet.
Yeah, and it sounds so weird because we play up in F, so the tuning, it's like, it just sounds different than I'm used to even hearing it, but we started to learn that for a show, and then we ended up having to cancel that show. This is years and years ago, but we have like a shady first half of Scavenger kind of worked out. Maybe someday we'll finish that off. We covered Evil Dead a long time ago, which is very simple, but yeah, we don't tend to do a lot of covers because we have such long songs and very little set time. We're always like trying to get every second that we can anyway. So we tend to not throw it away with covers, unfortunately. But I like playing covers. Yeah,
especially with the new album being 73 minutes. It's like it'd be nice to be able to play all the songs that you recorded rather than having to rely on covers.
Right, exactly. Yeah. And we're also kicking around the idea of like, should we just play, since it's a concept album, should we just do the whole album live, or are people going to want to see other stuff? I don't know if we want to have like a 2-hour set or anything. So we got some decisions to make here with regards to the new album. But,
When it comes to doing like the 40-minute sets compared to like the hour shows that you did a couple times during this week, do you feel more comfortable doing the 40-minute sets or the hour sets?
I don't know. I think I'm fine with both. I tend to prefer longer sets, actually. If I'm not like completely exhausted, if I'm having a good night, then I like to just keep going. Like when we were headlining in Europe this past fall, the set was about hour 10, hour 20 every night. We'll play and play and play if they'll let us, but shorter sets can be stressful just because you feel like between songs, it's like we got to get going, and then we'll play sections a little faster and stuff, and I don't like to feel rushed. I like to just enjoy it. So I guess I prefer the longer ones, but not by much. They're both cool.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the negatives is like as soon as you start to feel like everyone's getting into the set and everything, you gotta get off stage.
I mean, 45 to an hour, either one, I'll take it. It's half an hour that starts to bug me because it's so short. You're just like, well, we'll play 3 songs tonight.
Yeah, and I've always wondered that too because like with Vektor, the drums have become so hyperspeed with everything that you've done. Does that take a lot out of you, like in the beginning of the tour, or do you just feel so natural doing it now?
Yeah, I mean, you're at the point where we've done it so many times that I know that a couple weeks before the tour, I got to start like getting myself in that shape. But definitely a week or a week and a half into the tour, you start to feel like you're just chomped out. You're like, I can play anything. This is awesome. You get so in that tour mode when you're doing it every night that you're very comfortable with it. But at this point, we've been on the road for what, 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, it's like getting near the end of the tour.
Yeah, so I'm feeling great. I'm firing on all cylinders now. But yeah, I've learned, luckily, that I do have to take a little bit of time before a tour and get myself fully ready. I've had a few first nights where I'm like, that wasn't good enough. I was not ready for that tour. But yeah, luckily I learned that. And warming up is the other one too. That I'd never warmed up for so many years, and now I can't even play a show if I don't warm up. But
yeah, I've kind of gotten that way too because like when I first started gigging, like I was just able to just like go Dave Lombardo style. I was just able to go sit down and just like play for 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, barefoot for 5 hours.
Yeah, but like, now it's like, I need at least a half hour to warm up before I feel like I'm even comfortable doing it.
I try to warm up for most of the band before us. Yeah, just because it's like, that's also a byproduct of those heavier sticks and playing so much harder now than I did before. Like I didn't need to warm up the way I was playing in 2008 or whatever, just because I was not really playing that hard and I was playing with light sticks out of my own ignorance. But yeah, I don't know. If I don't warm up, I'm screwed now.
Does that take anything away from the speed, being playing with the heavier sticks?
No, I mean, as long as I'm doing my job correctly, no. It was a little tricky at first getting used to those, and I kind of graduated up to them. I started using heavier, and worked my way up to what I'm using now. So it wasn't just like a snap thing, but once you're there, you're there. It's like once you got the speed, you got the speed, and as long as you keep it up, you're not going to lose it. So I have like this baseline of even if I'm not practicing or staying in shape, I'll always be able to play at least here. And that seems to never really go too far.
No, it's definitely a great way to be. Well, thank you again for taking the time to do this interview.
No problem.
I know we talked about this 4 years ago, being able to sit down and be able to do an interview, whether it was through Skype or sit down in person when you came to Minnesota.
Sorry it took so long.
Oh, well. It was on my end too. It wasn't until last year I was finally able to get up a phone and Skype situation to be able to do interviews.
Gotcha.
I kind of feel bad on my end not being able to promote you guys sooner than I am now.
We're equally as guilty having not ever played in Minnesota, so it is what it is. But fortunate we could do it.
Yeah. And I cannot wait to see you guys tonight. I can't wait to see what the new sounds are going to sound like. And as soon as doors open, I'm heading right over to the merch table. I'm picking up some merch. So,
well, I hope you enjoy it.
Oh, no
Should be a great show.
Before we go, is there anything else you'd like to bring up that I haven't brought up yet?
Nah, I mean, Terminal Redux pre-orders open. Comes out May 6th. The iTunes thing, I did want to say, if you pre-order it now, you can already get Artificer, like I said, but there's going to be another one in March and another one in April. So you'll have 3 tracks by the time the album comes out. So, and they're not even the ones we've been playing live. So it'll be all new, completely new stuff for everybody. So purchase away.
Yeah, fantastic.
I just hope people enjoy the album. Come check us out on the road if you get the chance, and keep rolling.
Absolutely. And you guys haven't failed me yet, and I can't imagine that you guys are going to be failing me now. So
we'll
I can't wait.
There's always a chance.
Once again, that was Blake from Vektor. Make sure to check out the new album May 6th. And if the Vektor Voivod tour is coming anywhere near you in the next couple weeks, make sure to go check it out. This is that German guy, Josh Runquist. Thank you.